Welcome back, everybody. Here we are for a very old battle. I know a few times I've told people that I've got battles saved up, but yeah, I'm pretty sure 6th gen didn't exist when this battle took place. I think it's like 3 years old. I have no idea. But anyway, here we are with, believe it or not, a 5th gen match, and let's just get this one started. So he's got Gliscor. I've got a Rotom. I want to burn this before the Toxic Orb can go off. Knockoff kind of sucks. There goes Lefties. Nah, no big deal. But here's the Will-O-Wisp. Come on. Will-O-Miss. So now, of course, he's got his Toxic Heal, and that's just such a huge difference. Reducing his attack and then not getting healed, instead taking damage, massive. So I try and hit him. That's irrelevant. I'm just going to get the hell out of here and go to something that can kill it, like a Heatran. Unfortunately, he puts Heatran to sleep. So now I gotta find something else to kill it, and that's gonna be a heck of a problem. It's gonna take quite a while for me to find something else to kill it. He brings in something that'll obviously kill Heatran while he's got free time, and I go over to this guy because he's tanky as shit, and I know he's gonna ignore knockoff by being Mega Venusaur, who again is really tanky. So he puts a taunt on me, no big deal. I'm kind of just predicting a switch, throwing something out there, kind of just wasting a turn. Sludge Bomb. That's pretty much all I got with it. So I go back out to Tsunami, 1 to avoid Earthquake, 2 to hit it with Fire, Hydro, and I got Toxic in the meantime. So that really sucks. But at least I demolished this thing in the face. So he's going to be in a little bit of kind of a world of hurt. But I'm also kind of expecting Volt Switch isn't going to work, and hitting that thing's not going to matter. I'm just going to hard switch just in case he stayed in and like roosted or something. I don't know. I still probably would kill after roost, so that can't have been it. But he goes for another sub, which my Heatran's still asleep, so he totally forgot in that case. Sleep Claws, therefore, would have activated, but I blocked it with a sub. And I get off a nice bounce, and this Gira is now off to the races. He's got his sub, he's got his bounce to get extra lefties, and now he's paralyzing fools with bounce, which is just going to get him more substitutes, which is even more awesome. His Giga Drain's missing, so he can't even heal his hit points back. And I am destroying this Amoonguss right now, and it's going very well for me at the moment. Gliscor took a huge hit, Amoonguss took a huge hit, and we're sitting okay, even though my Rotom's not doing too pretty. Overall, I think I'm alright. Raikou comes in, but that's fine. I was just subbing up anyway. Yeah, he'd heal off the Giga Drain a little bit, but it wouldn't break the sub. So I have no intention of staying in, and bounce is kind of bad. So I'm just going to go right for a Waterfall, and he Volt switches into a Heatran? That's favorable. So I think I'm going to go for another Waterfall. I could sub, but I just want to get the damage in. I don't know if I could necessarily like sub and then take the damage and then lose it and just waste my time, or if he'd even be faster and hit me out of sub range and that would just suck. I don't know, but I get the sub up now, not being afraid of him. He's definitely a defensive set after seeing Rocks and Protect and all that jazz, so it's going to work out great. Amoonguss comes back in on the predicted Waterfall, which is fine, I suppose. I'm going to bounce now, and he's probably going to bounce out as well. But at least I'll get some powerful hit off on Keldeo. Why would you? If I'm gonna bounce, why would you bring in Keldeo? I'm not quite sure what he was thinking there. I don't know. Just a little bit of a bad play on his part. So now finally he gets the switch that he wants. I am just gonna Waterfall this thing as it has to break my sub. He goes T-Bolt this time, and I Waterfall the Raikou as opposed to something else, I suppose. He could have just gone right back to Amoonguss, but he chose that, and I'm going to take this time to see if I can't get Heatran awake. He's specially bulky, and this is really possibly going to be his best chance to stay alive. He starts setting up some Calm Minds. I taunt him to prevent him from getting more, and I think I'm going to be okay. I'll survive at least. I'll get a Protect for a little bit more healing on there, and I think I'm going to just try and kill this thing while I can. So I do take another hit. It does hurt, but at least I get the cat out of there. It doesn't quite kill it, but he is trapped, and he is dead. So, first blood. His Gliscor is still hurt. His Amoonguss is halfway-ish, and I'm leading by a little bit. So, Keldeo comes on in comes Venusaur. Icy Wind, don't care. I can restore with a couple of different moves, which I plan to start doing right on now. And Synthesis puts me back up to full. I could probably stay in here, but there's not much I can really do offensively to it, so I'm just going to switch out for now and try and do something that'd be a little bit stronger, a little bit more beneficial. And he... Ouch. Ouch. That ruins this Gira, that Toxic. Obviously, Lava Plume Burn was risky. He didn't go for Lava Plume, mind you, but it was risky, but Toxic, I think, is actually worse for me in this scenario. No. Burn would still have been worse, but... Now I can't sub and bounce around all day, getting extra leftovers with the bounce. I pretty much just have to make it happen right here, right now. This thing was death to a Mungus, and it's going to make things quite problematic, especially with Stealth Rock, and I have to switch out. So Heatran's back awake, so he was going to try and put things to sleep now. I know he can't put this to sleep because Grass type. I'm just throwing moves out there with Sludge Bomb. I can't do anything else to it. So I try and Leech Seed the Heatran, knowing that I'll still survive a Lava Plume. The burn's going to suck. It doesn't happen this time. But missing Leech Seed obviously is worse. He protects, so he gets leftovers, and I don't, because Mega Stone, because screw 5th Gen. And so now I'm stuck to going for it again, which is super freaking obvious, and it doesn't work on Amoonguss because of it. This thing was almost dead, like just a smidgen away, and now it's back up to full, and my Gyarados is ruined. So that's... Oh man, he made a few bad switches in there, and yet somehow he got all of his dudes back up to full. Gliscor comes on in, not quite sure what he's expecting. I think he's kind of hoping for some of the same thing. I totally could have killed it right there, but I didn't. I went for Leech Seed, and I don't know why. I should have just went to Giga Drain and it would have been dead, so I screwed that up. Now I go Giga Drain, but now it doesn't freaking matter. And I'm not going to bother doing another Leech Seed right there. I'm going to switch right on out expecting the Fire attack at some point, right? Heatran's come in like 6 times and it's never attacked me. What the hell? He switched right out to a Keldeo, which wasn't that Venusaur versus... I wish I could... Wasn't it Venusaur versus... What the hell was out here? Was it versus... Yeah, it was Venusaur versus Heatran. And then in the same turn, am I incorrect? I switched in my Heatran and he switched his out into Keldeo? Like, why? Why would he do that? I don't know. Some of this guy's switches are definitely not ideal, but so far it's working. Believe it or not, not quite sure how that's happening. So now I'm switching out because I don't want to deal with a Keldeo. I'll go right back into Behemoth. Giga Drain will keep me alive in here. He goes for a taunt now, and once again, oh, there we go. I picked the right move this freaking time, but too little too late. Now he sees how much damage that deals, and he's not going to stick around. I don't expect him to stick around, so I'm going to switch to some offense, but he sticks around. Like, why? You would have hit me, and I would have healed all of the damage back, and you would have died. It was just a terrible play that worked out perfectly, and then I miss. Okay, so Stone Edge wouldn't have hurt that much. It would have been something. Even if I deal 1% damage, that would have been worth it. But, nope, I miss. So now Terrakion is just literally dead because he sucks. That play makes me salty years later. It just does. So I'm just going to recover some HP. I'm not terribly threatened here. I'm either not terribly threatened or I just don't know anything about this Gardevoir. At the same time, where else am I going to go? My best options to go to are half dead, so like this guy, he's just fodder at this point. Trying to get a little bit of Leech Seed recovery on him if possible, and see if I can't get a little bit of extra damage in there as well is really all I'm going for. Amoonguss comes back in, which is fine. I'm switching right the hell on out, expecting that Gardevoir would have used something to kill Rotom, and therefore it kills fodder instead. It just didn't work out that way, so whatever. Taunting Amoonguss because I know he wants to Spore me at this point, so at least I got something right. And I'd love to use Magma Storm to hurt it and get it stuck, but unfortunately Heatran exists, so you're welcome for the Flash Fire. I don't think anything's going to come to fruition with it. I think both of us are kind of afraid, like, does he have a ground move? Do I have a ground move? Is he going to think I'm going to use a ground move? Does anybody have ground moves? I'm pretty sure neither one of these has a ground move. But I can't play on that yet, so I switch out to one who can avoid one. He's just still protecting, like, okay, just keep protecting. And I'm going to try and hit him here. No, I'm not. I'm going to recover some HP, and I'm going to get hit. No big deal, but the Toxic is wearing thin. I should be able to survive one hit, but he's going to protect on this turn anyway. Toxic is going to kick my ass a little bit more even, and now I'm going to be forced to Pain Split yet again, but Toxic is just ramping up. Like, this isn't helping me at all. And then he's going to Protect yet again, so I could switch on his Protect and save it for fodder, which is what I'm going to do. I'll bring in this guy who can... I guess we can trade leftovers for days, I suppose. I mean, he wasn't in, he switched in, got Flash Fire, I switched out, I now switched back in. He still had Flash Fire, like, holy crap. So he brings in Keldeo on my Protect. That's totally fine. That gives me an extra Protect. So now, despite Stealth Rock, I actually gained HP for this exchange, so I suppose that works out. And I'm going to have to switch out to my one thing that can deal with Keldeo. Mega Venusaur. Mega Venusaur literally, like, justifies him being in first gen with Charizard and Bulbasaur. It makes him that cool. I love it. It's one of the few highlights of this gen. I probably should have just went Giga Drain, but I figured that was really obvious and he would go to, like, I don't know, Heatran or something. So I threw a Leech Seed out there instead, and that was definitely not as productive. So once again, Gliscor comes in, so why would he want to deal with Giga Drains? I don't know. That time I probably should have Leech Seeded and I didn't, so now I'm the one going all backwards with my moves. But at least I get the Leech Seed up this time. Lava Plume, okay, I knew I could take it. I took one earlier and still no burn, which I'm fortunate now. He's hit me twice and no burn. I feel like that's lucky, even though the odds are still in my favor. But I'm not going to get it 3 for 3. I am going to get burned here, and I kind of deserve it. At the same time, I'm not sure what else I can do. Gyarados is pretty much dead. My other thing is fodder. Going into my Heatran's a waste of time, and I'm sure as hell not going to Sizer, so that's all I could do anyway. I tried. Amoonguss is now back, somehow at full health, and just pissing me off. It's really annoying with his little Pokeball shield arms, piece of crap. So I gotta switch out into some fodder, because I don't want anything to get spored, and I don't know if maybe he was going to switch out, or I don't know. I chose that as my fodder turn to bring this guy in there for free. And I know he's going to spore me, but I can't do anything. I have to kill something. So I'm fortunate that he gets paralyzed on a turn where he would want to spore Heatran. And now he's stuck, so now I can Protect. I don't care about his spore at that point. And Magma Storm will be able to finish it off. So a little bit of fortune right there. Unfortunately, I do need to... oh, taunt, there you go. No more spore for you. Never mind. I thought I was going to have to use I do have to use Magma Storm. No, I don't. I thought I was going to have to hit it a second time to kill him, but I don't. So, I think that was the only time that Parahax really made a difference, and it made a huge difference. That could have been the game. It gives me at least a fighting chance in here. So, I Protect a turn just to get some extra lefties out there, and I go right into Behemoth because I know my Giga Drains are going to restore quite a lot of HP. If I go for it, because again, Leech Seed is probably the better move. Why don't I Giga Drain right here? I use Synthesis. Synthesis actually might have been the smart one, because Giga Drain wouldn't affect Heatran, and Leech Seed wouldn't be too big of a deal either. So it wasn't stupid, but he made the right call in that regard, because he certainly was going to survive even if I Giga Drained, but I don't know. So at that point, Gyarados is mostly fodder, trying to get some damage in on Venusaur, see if I can kill it with residual damage at some point. Get a couple of waterfalls out there. He misses a Hydro Pump, which I'm pretty sure it would not have killed me. I don't know for certain, but I don't think it would have. And it hugely lets me get a T-Wave off on this thing. This Hydro Pump is irrelevant because Toxic kills me anyway. Even after lefties, it still kills me. So he complains about it in the chat, but it really doesn't matter. So he is slower now because of that paralysis, allowing me to get off a Synthesis and misses again. Okay, that one I guess I understand. You could be upset about it, but come on, you're paralyzed. I'm just going to Synthesis until you're fully paralyzed and I'm at full HP. So he's really pissed about the triple miss. In reality, 2 of those didn't matter whatsoever. At this point I was at a healthy enough HP, I was going to figure that I could try and kill him while getting hit points back at the same time, and that's when he chose to bring in Heatran. So I got nothing to lose at this point. I know he's going to Protect, so I'll get my hit points back, and now I can start Leech Seeding him, I suppose. It'll cancel out Burn a little bit, and make him force him to at least go somewhere. Keldeo doesn't scare me. Gliscor doesn't scare me. Amoonguss is now dead, so Venusaur is actually kind of good to go. Even though he's facing a Heatran, he's kind of alright. Gliscor comes in. I'm more worried about running out of moves than anything else. Giga Drain's going to be like a 6-hit KO because of all the freaking recovery. And he's going to taunt, so that's fine. I Giga Drain correctly on that turn. So I'm getting up there a little bit, mitigating the burn a little bit. It's still kind of tough. It's not the best, especially now that he's going to start hitting me. I'm making progress. I'm down to half, just kind of looking at the green on the HP bar for both of us going down. I'm losing out a little bit, but I think the overall... I think the fact that both of these guys go down, I think that favors me at this point. Maybe not. I don't know. I won. That's all I care about. He cared more about the taunt right there, not wanting Synthesis or Leech Seed on something. At that point, I had learned my lesson and started killing him and getting that to be successful. So Gardevoir comes in, and I'm like, yes! Now I can play offense again! Oh my god. 2 turns this game. 2 turns this whole game. That was turn 91, by the way. That was turn 91. 2 of those 91 turns, I tried to play offense. Both of those turns, I got killed in 1 hit, essentially. Like, for real, dude? Unbelievable. So, this is why defense just wins. I'm forced now to try and find a way to kill his Heatran with a Venusaur and a Heatran that doesn't have ground, and then manage to kill this Keldeo. So, at least it's paralyzed. Maybe I can get something working out. I'm going to protect as many turns as I can. Magma Storm doesn't do that much. At least it's trapped with residual. Okay, 40% from Sacred Sword. I think I can be okay with that. And I'll be able to protect this turn, get some more Magma Storm residual, dodge this Sacred Sword, and oh look! He's going to be at 1%. If only that Stone Edge hit and dealt 1% damage. In comes another Sacred Sword, and again, I'm able to survive. It didn't crit, but that's not a very healthy hit point total. Keldeo is down, and that leaves Gardevoir and Heatran versus Heatran and Venusaur. But as it turns out, neither one of our Heatrans can kill each other. So in a very awkward way, my Venusaur and Heatran beats his Gardevoir and Heatran. Not quite sure how. But Destiny Bond runs out. I'm able to kill it with a Magma Storm. And now it's just Heatran, so he can't kill me, I can't kill him, but I've got 2 pokes and he has 1, so he forfeits 99 turns in that battle, and I played offense for 2 of them. Wait, no, I guess Gyarados did a little bit of offense, but it was very passive offense with sub and bounce, for God's sakes. I guess Rotom played a couple of turns, but Rotom was only in there for defensive purposes and just used some Hydro Pumps because it's strong. But in reality, both turns I switched to my sweeper, they got destroyed, and that just sucked. So the game, the game was a little bit more of a headache than it could have been. He made a lot of questionable switches in the middle, but because of fantastic abilities like Regenerator and Toxic Heal, or whatever the hell it was called, Toxic Heal. I know it's not Toxic Heal. Is it Toxic Heal? It can't be. That's too stupid. It's 5th gen, so who knows. He was able to mitigate or reduce the ineffectiveness of some of those switches, and I just couldn't get anything going with all my offense being killed. So Mega Venusaur, however, is pretty mega, and I was able to pull out this victory. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you later. Take it easy, everyone. Catch you later. Peace.